Yeah, come on. Oh man, we gotta put some words to that, man. We own the rights to this music.
Hey,
What's poppin', y'all?
What's poppin'?
I'm your boy, Pastor J.
And I'm your girl, Lady Free, and we are back.
We are back in the building with another dope episode of Shift Real Talk Tuesdays, man. We are back in the building. Listen, y'all. Before we move on, y'all please do us a favor, man. And we need y'all. We need y'all to show some love by subscribing, by sharing, by subscribing. I don't know if I gotta say it backwards. Scribbling. Scribbling.
Do what you do.
Press the button, please. That helps us, y'all, to continue to bring y'all this dope content.
We trying to.
So listen, man. We trying to get it, man.
We trying to hit 1,000.
1,500. No,
1,000 more subscribers.
We trying to hit 1,500,000.
We got Sonya on the line.
For real, y'all.
We got
Mind. What's up, Mind? You got a mind moment.
Listen, this topic today is a fireball.
Yes, it is. It's a
fireball.
Okay, listen, man. We're not gonna waste y'all time. We're gonna get right into it.
Let's get into it.
Last week we were talking about normalizing dysfunction in relationship, and a lot of times we do exist and what's not right in relationship.
My goodness.
But the thing last week, you can go back to last week episode and look at what we talked about. You gotta check that out. But what we want to do is we want to help you guys to how to deal with it and how to really be a help toward it. Because as believers, our first reaction to dysfunction is to say deuces or we exist in it. We just exist in it.
Right.
And that's not the way to deal with dysfunction, y'all. We don't want to do it that way. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. Before you can help dysfunction, you must first identify what the problem is.
You got to know what it is.
You got to know what it is. So for you to be able to take the proper actions, right, you got to understand what it is. You got to know what it is. You got to, if somebody is the life of hiding and trying to be the life of the party, or to somebody who is lazy or somebody who don't or have no zeal, a peacemaker, right, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand that these are characteristics that are developed, but they are developed to cover the underlying issue.
Yeah.
They cover the underlying issue. So if somebody is very controlling, don't look at the control. Look at what's under. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because a control is just a symptom of a bigger problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do that. And here's another thing, y'all. Here's another thing. This is so true. A lot of us, especially I know a lot of with a lot of guys and a lot of guys that I counsel and talk to, a lot of them model their fathers. A lot of guys, they model their fathers. Mm-hmm. Whether their father exuberates, I don't know if I made a word up.
I think so.
Exuberable.
No. I don't think you made it up. I think you just threw it in there.
Yes, you're right, mind provoking. Before we must know what the meaning of dysfunction is.
Okay, holla at us.
When when the word DIS is connected to a word, that DIS disconnects you from the reality of what that word is supposed to.
Right. Only thing is in this word is DYS.
That's the slang.
Right. This dysfunction.
This my dysfunction, son.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but that's true. So, but here's a lot of guys model their behavior after what they seen their fathers do. You know, some of us, admire our fathers even in their dysfunction,
right,
because they admired the result that they got. So, if your father was a yeller in the household and everybody was silent, everybody got silent because daddy just spoke something. Sometimes
make them look powerful.
Yeah, that gives them that power look. So most of the time, men will admire that. Like my daddy used to get quiet, people to get quiet by just saying one thing. And so that what we do is we model that behavior.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We model that level of behavior. And also there's a catch-22 with sometimes some of us that even watch that behavior, some of us become damaged behind that behavior.
Right.
Because sometimes we can't take it. Some of us are, everybody is born with a love language. So if your love language is not being met as a child, then you're going to look for that love in other places and other things and other people. And then we cover those needs with dysfunction. We discover those needs.
Because one of the first things that, even as an infant, before you know what it is, one of the first things that you crave is love. And that love will help you function in a way that is more secure. So if you don't get that love, then that's the beginning of your dysfunction.
Or the disconnect.
The disconnect. How you connect with people.
Disconnect.
It could be dysfunctional. And it's like, if you're used to being raised up in that type of dysfunction, then what happens is it becomes your normal. Because you're used to it, you know how it looks, you know what results you get from it, you've learned how to cope in the midst of it. So now it's normal for you. And then you get into relationships further on into your adulthood. Forget the trying to date when you're younger, because they dating younger and younger today. Then all of a sudden you get into that stage of actual dating and trying to get serious with somebody, and you come upon somebody who's healthy. You'll mess that healthy up, because even though you know you desire healthy, if you don't do something to just break down and get rid of or heal and be healed from that wound, those wounded places that cause dysfunction, then you will start something. You will create something within that healthy relationship that makes you feel more normal. And that more normal basically leads to dysfunction.
Absolutely. And some dysfunction, we don't even realize that tongue twist. Some dysfunction we don't even realize we accumulate or we encounter, because this has been a normal behavior as we grow up. Like here's one. Like if you've been taken care of if your mama took care of you all your life, you are 36 years old now. And you are still being taken care of by the woman that you're with or the man that you're with, because guess what? You were taken care of as a younger being.
Kid,
So what you do is now you grow up with a level of selfishness, because now you're entitled, or you feel entitled to be taken care of, because that's what happened to you your whole life.
And let me give a backstory, because I don't know this lady. But the backstory could possibly be that growing up, she did not receive that care that she felt like she needed. So instead of finding the balance in the middle of the two extremes, she says, I'll never do my kids like this. So then she raised a child up who is always coddled, she's always there for him.
He gonna always be my baby.
Yeah, at the drop of a dime.
He gonna always be my baby. I don't care. Your baby is 45.
Yeah. I know someone right now, and I hate it for this person, because this person is actually a really cool person, very likable person, but this person's mother always came to his rescue. He would get locked up, wrong place, wrong time, or if he did something to deserve or warrant that type of lockup, I gotta go get my baby. I can't leave my baby down there. Nah, y'all don't understand. That's my baby. Instead of allowing that person to go through, learn from their lessons, and come out of the situation having a greater understanding of consequences and living a better life, knowing that, okay, if I do certain things, I'm not going to be able to just easily walk away from it. Now this person to this very day is still like that, and still expects that type. It's like the mentality has been seared to believe, or to this is just how it's supposed to be. If I get in trouble, somebody need to come and get me right now.
If you are 45 years old and you still living in the house with your mother, you are in dysfunction. You were living in dysfunction. I'm sorry.
Well, hey, it's called real talk for a reason.
And also, here's another one, y'all. Here's another one. Sometimes dysfunction can come from the resentment of the person that you're with.
Okay, talk about it.
Because if I'm going through something, right? And when I go through something, you either talk bad about me, or you down what I'm going through, or you down my responses, or you down and this is a behavior of yours.
Right.
I develop a level of resentment. So my the way I treat you is it comes with now caution, because I feel like you're not fulfilling the needs that I feel that I need coming into you, being with you.
Not a safe place.
Yeah,
for
so
you.
this is definitely not a safe place, and because I don't feel safe, I feel like I can't give you me, because and then when you feel like you can't give that person that you're with yourself, then there's a level of resentment, because that's why we get in relationships anyway.
I'm inclined to believe that the reason why there's a level of resentment too is that's how you know how to cope with people that don't treat you well. And the reason why you're in a relationship with someone who's like that downplay you, is that's what you're used to.
Yes. Read one comment. My boy Al. What's up, Al? Al said, I grew up with both instances, but both my parents had a borderline, meaning if you go to jail, we ain't getting you out. That's right.
To God
be the glory. Amen. Listen, now that's true. Now, I mean, because you done did something to get yourself in trouble, so I ain't coming to help you. But I do believe there should be a level of a cutoff, because even with my kids and my boys, I'm still live with them now, but there's still a borderline of how I'm near with them, because my boys are grown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to coddle them. Now, their mamas, on the other hand, they still,
that's their baby.
That's their babies. But I'm not doing that, because I'm raising men here. They're going to learn how to do stuff on their own. They're going to learn how to get out of trouble. They're going to learn how to get themselves out of jams. They're going to learn this. They're not going to, when they get in the jam, still call, Dad, I need you. Dude, they learn how to get out of it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I think that what happens is today we're not teaching our children problem solving. So with the problems that they face, they don't know how to rightly solve these problems.
Yeah.
So instead of solving the problems, they either put it off on somebody else and say it's their fault, or they deal with it in a way that's not healthy.
Yeah. What's up, Larry?
I think we did a disservice when we stopped leaving it up to the parents to raise their children the way that household raises their children, so that the children can grow up nurtured and trained in the household. Like the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, so that when they get old, they will not depart. It's some things right now I know for a fact that my son will do when he get old, because of the way I trained him up. So certain times when I feel like things may or may not be going according to what, as a parent, you feel like, well, that doesn't happen too often. But at the same time, I know that because of the way I trained him up, and because I believe what the Bible say, he is going to be in a certain mindset, position, or with the way he was trained will be seen when he get older. And that's only because the Bible gives us all kind of little secrets that help us to understand how to live this life and live our best life here in this world. But what we've allowed is other people, the government, to tell us how to raise our children, what we can and cannot do. And now we're raising a lot of children who are
soft.
Not just that.
Soft.
Not just that. Not just that.
They are soft.
Okay.
They are. I deal with them all the time, every day. They soft.
Well,
I'm just coming down straight.
So being in the area of soft,
they can't take a pinch.
Right. So in that vein, I can say I agree with it in the vein of everybody. You hear a lot of people say, my feelings, how you make me feel.
That's right.
But people don't understand how fragile feelings are. So because feelings are so fragile, and they are easily broken, hurt, and things of that nature, that's the reason why I can put it in the context. I agree.
But understand it.
People are more soft.
I'm gonna come to that, but I want to say, Alwa said, if your kids are taught to the best of your ability before adulthood, that's the best that you can do. That's right.
Before adulthood.
Yes, exactly. But remember, okay, I'm gonna read these two real quick. Mine said, sweep it under the rug, deflect, avoidance, inability to identify emotions and feelings not validated properly. That's right, exactly. Sometimes resources won't allow you to save anybody in a crisis, though. That's true. But see, the thing is, when we take on, not even just take on, because the Bible tells us to train up a child in the way they should go, that when they get old, they won't depart from it. A lot of times we take the training and we put out the training and we like trying to be their friends, and we're trying to help them, and we're raising them through our level of fears, and we talk about this all the time, and our level of pain and our level of dysfunction. And what we do is, when we do that, then we don't give them what's needed as a kid, because what does kids need? They need love.
Yeah.
They need to feel like they matter. They need to feel like they need to
safety,
they need to be safety,
guidance,
and these are the things and the characteristics. Oh no, these are the basic needs of a human being when they get older. They need what? Love. First of all, they need God. Then they need love. Well, if they have God, they got all the love that they need. But they want to be free. They want to be significant, meaning like, I'm good enough.
They
I want to feel, I'm
Yeah.
validated. I'm valued. These are the needs of certain people when they're getting into relationships. But the thing is, if these needs are not met in relationships, when they get into the relationships, then they're coming in with these needs. And if these needs are not being met, what they're doing is they're developing characteristics that cover these basic needs. And it makes it difficult to deal in a situation, because these characteristics make the basic needs difficult.
The characteristics
take over
the relationship.
And so now you got to deal with dysfunction, as opposed to just dealing with the fact that this person is already not coming needy. They're already coming to be the need meter.
I'm going to say this, and I agree. I think too, though, that what happens is they don't come in with a need to be validated as much as they come in with a deficiency of that need.
That's the same thing.
We say the same thing so beautifully. The thing is, if I come into the relationship, I'm not going to come into a relationship perfect. I'm going to have some things that I'm still dealing with, because no perfect person exists. However, if I come into the relationship with a deficiency, and I need you to fill that position in my soul, then what I have just done is I've caused that relationship to start off, or even if it didn't start that way, become very, very toxic, because now I'm relying on a human being to fill a place that only God can fill. And when that person does not do that, then whatever measures I've grown up to use to make that person either feel like that they need to do it. If they don't, then I'm going to leave them that's abandonment. I'm going to reject them. I'm going to make them feel low. I'm going to punish them. And all of these things happen from that place of dysfunction.
And that becomes dangerous, because now the focus is not on enjoying enjoying the relationship, but the focus is now put on the unmet needs.
What you need to do for me.
The unmet needs. And when you do that, the level of dysfunction is just, you're feeding the dysfunction as opposed to nurturing the person itself. You know what I'm saying? Or the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Or allowing God to flow.
Cultivating the relationship.
There you go. Cultivating the relationship. So instead of cultivating it, you're coming in. I need to feel love. Or you didn't tell me you love me today. And then,
so because what a relationship is how you relate to the person you on the ship with. So if you and I are in a relationship, how do I relate to you in the good times?
That's right.
How do I relate to you when things get kind of sketchy? How do I relate? How do you relate to me? How do you relate to my unmet needs? How do I relate to yours?
Yeah.
That's a relationship.
Yeah.
A relationship isn't, you need to do this for me. If you can't do this for me, then what am I here for? That's
right.
not relating.
Al said, sorry, it's about the company we are taught to keep. Yes. Some listen, some don't. At the end of the day, we are all born with common sense. Revenge never works. That's why God said, let go and let him. That's right. Come on, work it out. This generation is a free for all. Gen Z is the end times. Ooh, I believe that. Ooh.
We've been in the end times, though.
We've been in the end time, but I understand what he's saying. It's like this level of generation, the moral standings that they have, there are none. The level of need is at an all-time high. The level of needing validation, they just
neediness.
They need and
that's
kind of sketchy, but I mean that's just how we feel. We just right now we're talking our opinion right now.
And it's the thing is, history repeats itself. We know that.
Yeah.
History repeats itself. But who wrote the story? God. So it's his story. So if you really read the word of God and you pay attention to the patterns, his story is repeating itself. History is repeating itself because there was once a time, many times, where God's children decided to do what felt right in their own eyes. Everybody was doing their own thing. So now we're raising children in that same way. And there is a kingdom at work out here. There are two kingdoms. There's a kingdom of darkness and there's a kingdom of light. And that kingdom of darkness, if you notice, they are showing who they are. That's what that kingdom looks like. And here we are as Christians, we're so angry and look at what they do. And I can't believe this. But why would we be so caught up in how they look? They're supposed to look like that. Why is it that we are so quiet and we're not looking the way we should look as the kingdom of God? The dysfunction can be fixed by what God has given us in his word. But who out here is willing to pay attention to the word of God and say, I'm gonna put that into practice because I don't have to live in dysfunction.
You know what? It's so simple too. Because sometimes all we need is love. All these people sometimes just need is love.
And God is
love. Sometimes is all we need. I used to hear a friend of mine say this. This is so funny. He said, if I can't preach heaven in you, I'm going to love the hell out you.
There you go.
If I can't preach heaven in you, I'm going to love the hell out you.
There you have it.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, love covers a multitude of sin. Love is what it does. Love, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, sometimes just showing love even in dysfunction. So here's the thing. Let's talk about it. So, okay, here we go. Sometimes some of us get into relationships because we think that this time a person meets us where we are deficient at. If I'm a man, okay, and I'm an insecure person. If I'm a man, okay, I was reading this, but let me explain it off the paper. Yeah. So a lot of times, if I'm insecure in where I'm at, and and I need to feel secure, this is what we do in relationships. This is what we look for in relationships, but we can't do this. So I'm going to tell you the things that we should do to help get past that. To heal from it. Because if I have insecurities and you tell me certain things and this is just who you are. Because again, sometimes we don't realize that our insecurities and our deficiencies, they attract certain people. Now this is sometimes what we attract in that low place, because that's a low place, and we attract those people who can fulfill for a certain time, for a moment, only for a moment now, because this is the attraction. Our likes attract, whether we know it or not. So if I'm deficient, I'm going to attract somebody who's going to give me what I need for that time. But what happens is it gets burnt out because you're only really doing that at the time because you've attracted to my dysfunction.
Right.
But there's a level of growth because we grow daily, whether I move or whether you move. At the point we move, and that there will be a level of burnout from actually trying to not fake and funk where we gonna grow from. So I may grow to a place of a little bit more security, or being a little bit more secure myself, and you still speaking to that place where I kind of grew from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I grew from that place a little bit. So if you still talk, then it may turn me off, or it may now start seeming like it's a little nagging. You know what I'm saying? I may
now
feel like
start noticing.
You start noticing like, hold on, wait a minute.
Dysfunction that you're in.
Exactly.
You're coming out of it.
You're coming out of it.
Yeah.
You don't stay there. You don't stay there, because again, remember, we learn like, and God does. He is so cunning to how he does stuff. He's so crafty. I'm saying something wrong. He's so crafty because he wants us to look at him, and a lot of times he'll have situations come in our life so that we can now look to him.
Absolutely.
So when we're looking to God, because I promise you, we're gonna look to God.
It's very
whether it's gonna be tragic, there you go. Whether it's trouble or whether it's something that's gonna rattle our feathers, it's gonna make us say, Lord, it's gonna give us that prayer, and then so we have maybe a little more insight from that little level of dysfunction,
right?
And again, so you may not speak to that no more. So now I'm looking at you like, you know what? So I don't want to be in a position where I don't want to talk to you, or I don't want to say what I need to say to you because now I'm afraid of your response.
Right. Because I'm growing.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm learning that I have value, and I'm learning that I don't have to be like this for whatever reasons. I'm learning, and I'm in a relationship with you, and you still in that low place.
Yes.
And I'm looking at you now like, hold up, you're not gonna keep disrespecting me, and you saying to me, wait, what you mean disrespect? Oh, so you too good now? So you better than me now? It's like, no.
Yeah, like you bet. Yeah, like no, I've been doing this.
But you know what we should say when people say, oh, you think you all that, oh, you think you better? Yes, I'm trying to get to that place, and I appreciate you noticing.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. Yes.
Instead of being like, no, I'm not trying. Yes, I am. You're right.
Yes.
I want to be better.
Yes. But we have Lasagna. Hey, Lasagna. She said we have to learn to follow order. The majority of people say, I am grown. I do what I want. I am guilty of saying that too. Oh, you are? Okay, thank you for the honesty. But we must all be under the will of God. So married people should plan to have children, and I know things happen to curb that plan. Each parent should have a sound mind to raise these children in the will of God. Not having God in your life is dysfunctional. Absolutely.
You said that.
That's
not
absolutely.
having God in your life is
Period.
dysfunctional.
Period.
Because how
With
can
a T.
Yeah, because you can't function the way God created you to function if He's not in the midst of it. So that is so true. That is so true.
She said, Leslie Carr said, yes, you can be better, but not more than the next. What do you mean by that? Like,
is that my cousin?
Leslie Carton.
Yes. She says, yes, you can be better, but not more than the next. Okay, so
I want to make sure I clap because I want to.
Les, you're going to have to elaborate.
Yeah, elaborate that a little bit on that.
Because when it comes down to it, this the thing. And this is where I was coming from with that. I know some people now who have decided to give God their life and accept the Holy Spirit into their heart. And they've been noticing change, but they don't want people to start saying, oh, you acting funny. Oh, you think you better, because the change is happening in them and it's noticeable, right? So my thing to them was to say, because people try to use that to keep you down. They try to use that because sometimes when people see you growing and they're not ready to grow, they'll say little things to try to make you feel bad about the fact that you're doing better, that you're growing. So what I told them was say, instead of saying, no, I ain't trying, and trying to defend the fact that there is a change happening in you and you are becoming better, say, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for noticing. I am better.
But here's the thing too, but you really want to be at your best because again, nobody stays the same. And there is a little growth. I mean, somebody's going to trust me. God is either going to tell you himself, you're going to speak to your spirit, or he's going to send somebody to speak to you.
To confirm what he said.
To confirm what he said. But you want people to be at their best. You want them to be.
Yeah.
So it's not about being better than anybody else, but you want everybody to be at their best.
Yeah.
So that is a great thing because if that means if you're growing, then what you should do in your growth is help bring me up, because that's what we do. Right. We bring each other up. But you want that person that's being their best to do that. Because we don't want to stay at the level of dysfunction. We don't want to stay there.
And the person that's doing better or trying to be their best, I hear what you're saying. That person should be there to try to bring people up. But sometimes we take that on as our assignment. And I have to bring them up. And if they ain't trying to come, now we're trying to control their bring up. Now we're trying to control it because we want them to be better and we want them to be where we are. So we want to make it happen. But see, God is going to take them through their process like he took you through your process. Mm-hmm. And it may not happen all bring like that. But what it will do is it will happen if your example is an example that will give them the way they should go, which is opposite from the way they have been going. It's a difference.
So she said, okay, hold on. Let me read what she said.
Leslie
she said,
says,
if I die today and you die tomorrow, who's more dead? I'm just saying because I dislike when a person say, oh, you think you're better than me. And I respond, yes, because of the choices I chose to make. Well, if we dead, then ain't nobody better. We
all the same.
we all, at that point, we all the same. But I understand what you're saying. It's not about being better than. Because you got to really understand too the motive of somebody's better, because like you were saying, I was going to say that, bringing people up, you can't force people to bring, you can't force people. But if somebody is I'm better than you. I'm better than that. That's trust me, that's a cry, or that person is insecure. I promise you, it's hiding insecurity. So if they gotta throw their change at you, then that's not somebody who's securing their change.
Yeah, we're not talking about that person.
We're not talking about that person, because that's not growth. That's not even growing, and that's not getting better. That's still staying at that low place, because you never put nobody down.
That's
because
like a man that always have to say, I'm a man. I'm a man.
Yeah,
it's like why, who you trying to convince?
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Hey, Tasha. Tasha is on the line.
My sister Tasha,
yes,
love you, girl.
Sister.
We are treat everyone how you want to be treated, regardless. Regardless of any status you acquire. Acknowledge one's growth. Don't knock them for your growth. Exactly.
Right. See, and I think we kind of took that and twisted it around this way. What we're saying is not that you're going to say to somebody, yes, I think I'm better than you. What we're saying is instead of trying...
you got to realize that sometimes when people, we just calling out the dysfunction and the situations probably hit where they have dealt with and dealt with the situation. Because when I was saying, how if I'm growing in my level of insecurity
right.
and you still speaking to that low insecurity, then it's like it turns into the argument. But sometimes with that, it can look like I'm growing and you're not, and I push it on you, but that's still that. Again, just understand that that's not growth, but that's still somebody who is hiding the dysfunction or was hiding the actual need. And we put these characteristics on top of what's really the underlying issue. So this is why we got to really understand this. So here's the thing, y'all. To really help and understand how to deal with these dysfunctions, two things that we should not do when it comes to dealing with dysfunctions, especially as the body of Christ and the body of believers.
Okay.
Two things we should not do is say, I'm out, goodbye, especially in relationships, especially marriages, because this is at what we do. We say we're not going to deal with it no more, or we stay stuck in the dysfunction, and we cannot do that. So here's one thing I want to tell us what we need to do when it comes to dealing with dysfunction and helping it grow as the body of Christ.
Helping what grow?
Helping people's needs to get where they need to be in God, and then eliminating the dysfunction, because we can eliminate it.
We can,
we can help, or especially through God, we can help. First thing we must do is affirm the need, but reject the behavior.
Come on.
Affirm the need, but reject the behavior.
Okay, talk about it.
How you reject the behavior is when you acknowledge the behavior. You acknowledge the verbal abuse. You acknowledge it, and you send it back.
How do you acknowledge verbal
First of all, because somebody yelling at you at the top of their lungs. Right. And, hold on, we're not going to do that. Stop right there. Because what we do is we get back and we engage in the behavior, because sometimes it triggers us. It triggers the behavior in us. This is why it's so important that we understand and identify it, so that we know how to properly deal with it and properly be able to give the
okay, I get you. Okay, I'm gonna be personal.
Okay, be personal a little bit.
All right. So I remember when
Vanessa.
Vanessa's on here too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Vanessa. Hey. Okay. So what happened?
June. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Really?
I ain't see June in a long time.
Hey,
Cowgirl.
Okay. I'm gonna forget my thought if you keep.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Come on.
Okay. So basically, when we were going through learning how to communicate better in our marriage, I remember, and I always thought it's because you came from a background where you saw more rah, and I came from a background where it was more like
rah.
No,
because you did that.
No, that is not.
You was like,
that was something totally different.
Okay,
but anyway, we came from two different backgrounds. Basically, is what I'm saying. And so your way of dealing with stuff, to me, it seemed like you went overboard with the getting loud, and I feel like you thought that was your way to seem like you was doing something, and I would come all the way down and look at you and say, okay, so at first it went from me saying, okay, this ain't what you want. You don't want to do this because I'm trying to help you. You know how we used to talk like that, and you used to look at me like, what's wrong with you? Like, I didn't get really bad with you. But then it went from my motive changing to me trying to help protect myself, to let him know I'm not no easy win, don't play with me. It went from that to me noticing the need. Because I remember when that started happening, I'll be like, okay, so why are you getting upset right now? Because I didn't say anything to hurt you. I'm not here for that. I can't do nothing with a man that's broken. So I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just trying to bring something up because I'm your friend. And as your friend, I feel like I should be honest with you. And when I started saying little stuff like that, I started acknowledging the fact, okay, you a little loud right now, and I'm not exactly sure why you loud. But trust me, when I said what I said, I didn't say it to harm you. I was just being honest with you. Because that's what we're here for, right? To make each other better. And when I start saying little stuff like that, and it took a minute for me to really learn that, wow, this is working. And I wasn't fluffing him up either. I was being honest. I'm here. I'm your friend. I'm coming to you as your friend.
That means you didn't accept the behavior.
I did not. Because at first I was. Because I think when you first get married, you have to really understand how to leave and cleave.
Yeah.
It's certain behaviors that you have to learn how to navigate through. And it wasn't abusive, but it was just when you would get angry, it was like, hold up, swole up. And once I learned, okay, wait, he acting like that because I noticed there's something because we talk all the time, and it's something he already shared with me from his past that's causing him to feel threatened right now. And then I'll be like, babe, I'm not even here like that. I'm not her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here for you. So
she gave an example of meeting the need, affirming the need, but rejecting the behavior. That's a great example. But I had to
learn what that was, and I didn't even know that was an example. Yeah. Thank you, God, for giving that to me, honey.
Let me go back real quick because there's a couple of good comments on here.
Okay.
Mine said, the hold on allows one to pause the other's behavior while setting proper boundaries to formulate a healthy level of effective communication.
Leah,
exactly.
Hold on, wait.
Hold on.
That's not what I'm doing.
That's not what I'm doing. And Evelyn.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can want people to change, but they have to want it just as much for themselves.
And a lot of times, Evelyn, we try to make people change because we need them to change. It's hard for me to be in this relationship. I love him and I want to, but I can't, or I love her and I just can't. But we have to realize that, and this is something I'm speaking from experience, and he knows it on my end too, because I didn't come in here all squeaky clean. I came in with my issues as well.
Oh, yeah, she had some dirt on them hands, some grease in them nails.
Underneath them nails.
Some grease in them nails. She's
but
yeah, she
really.
Yeah, but we got to realize this, y'all.
I wasn't finished.
Oh, I'm sorry. I cut you off.
You did.
Okay,
you cut me all the way off.
Well, come on.
But anyway, Evelyn, what I was saying, I gotta read your comment again because he just made me forget.
People gotta want to change for themselves.
Yeah, they gotta want to change. And this is one thing I would always say. I know I could, you need to do it, and then he'll be like, man, let me go ahead and do this because I don't want to hear her mouth. Okay, then he'll change for a minute temporarily because that's something that he don't want to hear my mouth and I'm fussing. But I made a decision. I do not want him to change for that. I want him to change because that's something he want to do. So I had to ask God to give me a little formula, help me out so I can understand how to navigate situations in our marriage, in our relationship, where it wasn't like I was combative with him, but at the same time, I still got my point across. And all of a sudden, guess what he wanted to do? He started changing. And I prayed a lot. And me and God had some real good conversations about his son. And I didn't go to God like, he need to do this. And God, I went to him like, okay, this is your son. And he is hurting right now. Because I could tell.
Yes.
It's some things he's dealing with right now. And he's trying to take it out on me. And I'm your daughter. I'm your baby girl. And you don't like me, nobody messing with me, so help us.
One thing we got to do, and I'm trying not to jump because I want to give you a little, but this just kind of goes with what you were saying, Evelyn. We got to take a lot of narratives that we heard out of conversation. I like that Al said the grease.
Grease under them nails.
Yeah. Who's scout with it?
Who's scout with the grease?
Yeah, who's scout with the grease? But I like that shouter. That's how they say the ATL, shouter. But
Everybody
anyway,
don't talk like that in Atlanta, baby.
Well, the people from New York don't talk like that in Atlanta, but the ATLians, they like that, shout it.
We don't. You're not gonna do us like that.
All right. But
listen, I'm like, you ain't gonna do us like that.
but you know what though? But
Sorry,
seriously,
y'all.
all jokes aside, we got to change these narratives because people can change,
Absolutely.
and we got to stop saying. We got to take those narratives away because what happens is, like my wife was saying, you can't feed into the behavior. Because if you feed into the behavior, then the only thing that you're doing is you're feeding into the dysfunction. Somebody has to get off the boat. Somebody has to get off the boat and deal with it different. But I promise you, people can change. We got to stop saying, we got to take that out of the narrative.
It look like you're about to read something. Can I say something real quick? Okay.
Do you know what real quick is?
If you stop interrupting me, I could have been finished.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so what I was going to say was I believe that I learned something, and it's not in the Bible per se, but the Bible says wives respect your husbands, right? So whenever we would get to that point and I would have to address the need and don't acknowledge the behavior or accept the behavior, that was me respecting my husband, right? And did you know that when a wife respects her husband, his ego bows down to her? It calms his ego down. He bows. I don't care what nobody say, and you take it the way you want to take it.
But
I'm not saying bow down like worship, but
hold on, wait a minute.
That ego subside, baby.
But check this out though. I mean, you may be saying it funny, but that's the truth. Women need love. Women need love, and men need respect.
Boop, boop. Yep.
Men need respect.
Yep.
It's a need. It's one of those needs that's covered by all of that raw.
Yeah.
And all he's saying is, I just need a little RESPECT. Tell me what you mean. Tell me.
I feel like
RESP.
I feel like you
disrespecting me.
Like,
don't nobody disrespect me. But that's what men need. They need respect. But yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is. Come on. That's right. That's true. Exactly.
Okay. Go ahead, baby.
So here's another thing we got to do. Share your feelings.
Okay.
Share your feelings. Explain what happened and how it made you feel.
Right.
Talk about it. Communicate your feelings. Because guess what? A closed mouth don't get fed. And not only do a closed mouth don't get fed, but feet that ain't moving ain't getting no action. So
what? I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
Okay. All right. I just try to make something up real
tried
quick.
it.
I tried.
Right.
But seriously though, it's so important to share your feelings because when you show and you communicate how things make you feel, then what that does is it sows that seed it sows that level of a boundary. Like, okay, I don't want to make him, I don't want to make her feel the way that I made them feel when that wasn't my intention in the first place.
If they love you.
9 times out of 10, they love you. But if they don't love you, you'll know that.
You'll know it by the way they respond when you're trying to correct something that's incorrect in a relationship. Yeah, so you said talk about the feelings. That's Rosalind?
Yeah.
Hey, Ros.
Yeah.
You said talk about the feelings?
Talk about the feelings.
Now, let me say something about that. It's not always easy to talk about the feelings.
That's that hard conversation.
But for some reason, I don't know why we think that just because it's not easy, then I don't want to do it. I don't want to mess that up. We having a good time. Like everything in a relationship has to be just only a good time. Those hard times help you learn how to relate better with that person. Because now you're learning how to relate to them, not just when it's easy, but if you learn that person and if you're really truly in a relationship with that person, then you're learning that person and you're learning certain things about them, how they communicate certain ways, and you'll be able to communicate with them better. But I'm going to put that on there like this: if they truly do love you.
Okay. The next thing we got, because I don't want to time, Yeah. The next thing is agree on a strategy together, something that works for the both of you guys, and stick to it.
Stick to it.
Stick to it.
Right.
Agree on a strategy. Now, one thing my wife did, I was about to say me and her, me and this woman over here, me and her, we had like, both of us can talk. We both could talk, and we would always cut each other off. But what worked for us was, like we tell y'all, we share this with y'all. We say, look, I'm not finished, but we don't say that. We just say to the period. But that works for the both of us because now we know, okay, she wasn't finished, so it ain't us just saying, forget what I'm trying to get with it. But so we let each other, because we know a lot of times, and we had to come up with this because we would cut each other off, and in the cutoff, we would already come into our narrative only hearing the first part of the sentence.
Right.
So because we heard our narrative from the first part of the sentence, then we would cut in with a whole nother idea. And we were like, Absolutely. That's not what I'm talking about.
And you know what?
What are you talking? I didn't say that. You didn't let me finish.
That's how he would get.
What? I didn't finish.
And I
was not going to say that.
That's so good because I remember when we came up with that, because we are one. I'm trying to take credit, right?
Yeah.
When we came up with that, I remember it was a time when you were trying to tell me something and I cut you off because I felt like I knew what you was going to say.
No, I was going to say.
And then you was like, babe, let me finish.
Let me finish. No, you can't tell me you weren't going to say that.
Wait, okay. So they're recreating it. Okay.
I know.
So then
come on. 10 minutes.
When I did let you finish, then what happened was I said, oh, I was wrong the whole way. So I said, and I told him, I said, babe, if I would have let you finish to the period, I probably wouldn't have ever came up. We would have never argued about that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we came up with, okay, from now on, we're going to let each other finish to the period. And that's what we say. If I'm talking and he interrupt me, I babe to the period. And he knows that just means, and vice versa. We just know what that means.
She had to repeat it back her way. That's cool.
I just had a conversation with you about it.
I know. Got you. So wait a minute. I feel statements without using attack or condescending rhetoric towards the others. Rhetoric, there go that word, man. Being able to accept vulnerability from behavior which the other person never paused to take the time out to realize how their actions affect another. Exactly.
Ooh, girl, you deep.
Come on, girl. You
deep.
Just,
Leslie said, yes, I experienced that too. I do not like to be cut off. Girl, but we will cut. Oh
yeah, you don't like to be cut. Do you cut off? To not like cut off?
My family, we know how to talk.
I know, yeah, and I know y'all some cutters. Cut.
So that's
you need to cut it.
That's something we have to learn though. Like, not to cut off, but that was just we learning how to we creating our own way of marriage, being in this marriage.
But that's the thing is you got this how you work with. Because here's the thing, the whole point of this stuff is to not point out the dysfunction. Because a lot of us do when we really trying to make somebody, this is what happens. When we trying to make somebody change, then we point out their dysfunction to make them change. Right. But we don't understand that can come off as a level of judgment. You're not speaking to the healing part of that. You're speaking to make it now you're putting up them a wall. You're putting up a wall or a protection from you guys coming together. So you gotta knock the wall down by not throwing out the dysfunction. And that's not what we supposed to call it out, but not call it out to the fact that you doing this and you need to stop and you need to
tit for tat.
That don't work.
When you did me, if somebody come to you and express their feeling and you say, well, you just did that to me last week, and it's now the conversation has gone from an adult, two adults having a conversation to two people tit for tat and each other going back and forth.
Absolutely. And here's the thing before we go, y'all, because, man, we think, Lasagna said, that's how y'all roll. That's how y'all roll. But y'all understand each other, okay? But to be honest, I will cut him off to get my point across. I figured you did that because the only way you don't like being cut off is because you cutting off.
Because she cut off to get her, because she was talking first.
Yeah. But that's what me and my wife learned. The only thing we're doing is we're arguing our opinions, and we're arguing what we believe that you're trying to come and tell us. But if we listen, because that's what communication is. You got to listen first. Listen to the full. Give the whole story, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and listen to the full story, so that now you can talk about the whole thing, and then now you can come up with a resolve for understanding the full heart. You got to listen to it. But here's what we got to stop doing, y'all. We got to stop saying these narratives. These narratives are so very important. We got to stop saying people cannot change. We got to stop saying that the only way this relationship is going to work is if I get out of it. And then we got to stop saying that this relationship is hopeless. This is the worst relationship that I've ever been in. And we got to stop saying I can do bad all by myself. We got to stop saying that.
Tell me why.
I can do bad all by myself is a narrative to that and I think we say that so much till we use that as like, instead of being bad with you, I'll just be bad by myself. You were not created to be bad.
Well, I don't think that's what the people are saying.
Because it's
when
like,
they say I could be bad, so if I'm gonna deal with bad, I could do that alone. I don't have to be.
That's what I'm saying.
So basically, you being in my life is causing all this bad stuff to happen. If that was the case, I might as well have been by myself. Now I can be bad.
But that's
myself.
that's what they saying. I can do, if I'm gonna do bad, I can do bad by my. If I'm a struggle, cause that's what it is. If I'm a struggle, I ain't gonna struggle with you. I might as well struggle by myself. I can do it. I can do this by myself.
So what's the point of having you and I'm still struggling like this when I was doing just fine struggling alone?
Well, yeah, but the point is,
the point.
But the whole point is you weren't created to struggle. We were, you know what I'm saying? We weren't created to do bad. We were not created that. And we can't put that narrative in our head because bad is not an intention of God.
Okay,
he said that I want you to live. I want you to prosper. I want your soul to prosper. I want you to have life and have it more abundantly.
Yeah.
That's his promise for us, not to do bad.
Right. And you said we got to stop doing those narratives. I can hear people now saying, well, he don't understand. Listen, let me tell you something. What you are seeing right here is a living testimony of God taking us from the places that we're telling you, the dysfunctional places that we came into this relationship with, to a place of health.
Yes.
It can happen. Yes, people can change. Yes, people can move from a low place to a higher place. Yes, people, you don't always have to stay low. You don't always have to stay in a place of dysfunction. The sad part about it is when you focus on the dysfunction so much, it becomes magnified. And I say this all the time. Anything you put under a magnifying glass gets bigger. So now it has consumed the relationship, and all you can see now is the things that are wrong with the person you with. You can't see nothing good. But if you start changing you, the most important person in the relationship is you. The word of God teaches us, love your neighbor as you love yourself. The airplane people even said, put it on your face first and then save the kids. So basically the whole concept is, if I start learning to understand who God created me to be, if I start understanding the value that God placed in me, how he fashioned me, if I start truly believing that I'm who God called me to be, and that I'm purposed and I have a destiny for my life, and the biggest impact I can make is on the journey I'm going into my destiny, then you will not be so focused on other people's tragedy, and then those people will see some good, and who don't want good?
Yes.
They may struggle as they striving to get it, but they will want it.
Leslie says she invited him on to watch tonight. He's listening to. Thank you.
Hey friend, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So listen, y'all. Like my wife was saying, it's important that we understand that we are tools to helping people get better. We are tools. Don't throw them away. Sometimes, not sometimes, but our first ministry is in our own. It's right in front of us. We were sharing this with somebody the other day. It's like they'll go all the way out in the street and talk to people they don't even know. And everybody in their house is going through the worst. And it's like they forget about the house and they go outside. But your first ministry is right inside your own home.
The house.
So if you able to help the people that are the closest to you, then you doing something great. You're doing a great merit, a great service.
And I have to say this too. For those people who are in families, just understand, when you see Christians are the hardest on Christians.
Carly. Hey, Carly.
Yeah. That's Sonia's daughter. Christians
Carly ain't Sonia's daughter.
Oh, Corley. I'm sorry. I thought you said Corley. Corliss. Okay, so Christians are the hardest when Christians who doing their thing.
Ain't this your cousin that's about to get married?
Babe, I don't know.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna put her on blast.
To the period, please.
I'm sorry.
To the period.
Okay.
Anyway, so Christians who are trying to live right and understand the journey, because like for me, I understand that my journey and my past was when I was in the streets and doing whatever God knows what, and I was leaving God out of my life. That was the hardest time for me. And when you in that state, you got to fight to get back from that place. It's so much that you go through personally by yourself. Even if you have a crowd of people around you, you still going to have to deal with you by yourself. And when I finally came out of being so angry all the time, fighting all the time, just being mad for no reason and being super depressed, living on autopilot. Once I came out of that and I got into what God had for me, then I started to grow and I started to change. But the thing about it is, I will never want to go back to that place. So it's certain things I'm not. Can I finish?
Oh, got you.
Because I know you.
No.
He trying to say minutes. I'm talking too long.
No.
Babe, but let me finish this. I understand you want to read that.
Vanessa got a thing I wanted to.
I got you.
Okay, come on.
Okay, so you interrupted me. That's 2 minutes.
Right. Come on.
Anyway, so basically at the end of the day, it's some things that when God arrested my heart and I'm really starting to live it now, I can't do certain things and I won't accept certain things anymore. So when it comes down to that, sometimes it's the Christians who are the hardest on us. Oh, you holier than thou, or you also now you this and this and that. Let's start congratulating others who are going through because they fought to get there. And you don't know what it took for them to actually have to surrender all just to be in a place where they have now peace in their heart and in their mind. So let's just, instead of looking down on them because they becoming a better Christian, start saying, hey, I see what you're doing and I like that. Do that for them because that helps in the journey.
I had to read because this my sister
Vanessa,
don't comment. And I need to read this here.
Okay.
My sister, she said, I interrupt because I'm in perimenopause.
Okay, wait. Let me read it, babe. Can I read it?
Yeah. Perimenopause.
Baby.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Okay, forgive me, babe. Okay, wait, let me read it. She says, I interrupt because I'm in perimenopause, babe.
Oh, my bad.
And I forget my thoughts. So I let Derek know. Now he understands if I interject. However, I
try to make
sure he knows I'm not being dismissive.
Got you. That's
Maybe
awesome.
saying paranopa. Vanessa, we are not down playing your perimenopause, girl.
I'm sorry.
But that's good.
But thanks
and
for
people
sharing
don't
that.
talk about that.
That's
you
true.
you do
but
forget.
But see, that's the whole point. Communicating. Because if you express your feelings and you express really what's going on, then what you do is you allow the behavior that's needed to happen for what's needed to happen, then you allow it to happen. You allow it to happen. So.
That was a riddle. But y'all listen, we have to learn how to stop focusing on the dysfunction so much and start seeking God for how can I navigate through these hard times? How can I give me some kind of secrets? Give me some formulas to unlock that place in that person's heart where I need to get in. Lord, help me. Use me as a tool. Lord, I'm going to help me. Hey, help me to meet a need. We have to start asking God for this stuff because your friends can't give it to you. Nobody understands your heart like God does.
Like
and we have to go to him. That's imperative. That's our strongest weapon, prayer.
Okay.
I promise you that.
Okay, we gotta pull it in.
Hey, Mama Trotter.
Yes.
We love you.
Vanessa, we got to go to our doctor too. We tell us our age, but I couldn't read. I put parapanopa. I read parapa. But anyway, listen, y'all. We got to go. Listen, y'all. Listen to us, man. Some of you who don't have the live podcast, man, we are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts. So y'all can listen to us on the way to work.
On the way to
work. On the way home from work. On the way to lunch. You know what I'm saying? We trying to hit every avenue so that you can get this content. And listen, y'all, please help us out, man. We need your help so that we can continue to bring y'all this great content.
Yes.
please subscribe. Subscribe to the channels, man. Subscribe to us. Download it on Spotify. Download it. Please.
Tell Bay to subscribe.
Leslie, we love you. Leslie, Sonia, we need you to subscribe. Sonia, you've been with us for a minute. Have you subscriptions?
So y'all listen. Don't forget, go on YouTube. We trying to get our numbers up to at least 1,000 on YouTube. Help us out.
No.
I said at least.
We at most. We want 100,000. Okay. So listen, I ain't talking at least. We ain't know when at least podcast. But anyway, we gotta go. That's our time. Listen, subscribe to the channel, man. We need your help, y'all. Please.
And if you're in the Houston area, come to Sacred Stone Studios because this studio is
See how she just cut me off? I wouldn't finish.
You cut me off. Oops, tit for tat. Y'all listen,
subscribe.
Our time is done.
Our time is done. We gotta be up out of here.
I'm your girl, Lady Free.
I'm your boy, Pastor J.
Until next week, same bad channel, same bad time.
Same bad place.
Peace.
Doses.
For watching.